Well, hello and welcome. It is time once again to try to fix something. And today on the Workbench, we're looking at another PS5 no power. At least that's how it was sold to me as a no power. So obviously it wouldn't make a sound like that. It wouldn't try to turn on, or would it? Is it going to turn on? Is it going to be a blue light of death? Oh, flashed a few times and then shut off. That's great. And then doesn't do anything. That is great. Okay. And let me point out something. Unplug this. I noticed when I was putting it on the bench here. Well, is it going to do it? Something was rolling around inside. Of course, now it's stuck, I guess, but there was something, sounded like a screw rolling around inside of it. Oh, and just glancing up into the HDMI port, see if I can get it to focus down in there. Yeah. And we have one or two pins that are just folded over. So we got a lot of stuff going on with this one. It should be a fun one. Let me start getting some covers off of it and get my camera to focus. And let's just see what we find, shall we? All right, I've got the side plate off, and what we have is a pile of parts. I do believe these screws are missing from the Blu-ray drive. Power cable's missing for the Blu-ray drive. Missing screws. Of course, the security tape's gone. Long gone, I'm sure. These screws look like they've been taken out 100 times. So yeah, I think this is somebody's pile of junk parts. Okay, let me get a little further into this. Okay, I've got the fan of the plastic cover out, and I found that rattle. There she is. Okay, add that to my screw collection. Ooh. Why is that stuck there? Well, I guess it should be there, but the spacer's missing. That's the retaining clip for your expansion M2. The ribbon cable has been crimped here, so that can cause a problem. I have to look at that. What else? I mean, obviously somebody's been way into it. Maybe they didn't flatten these too much. Oh, maybe they did. Can't tell. These Wi-Fi coaxes. Okay. Let me get a little further into this. Well, I've got the cover metal shield off. Getting ready to take this board out. I can already see where there's been some work. Right back here. Can you tell? Yeah. So yeah. That may be the source of our shutdown. If they messed up something in the area of the HDMI circuit, it could cause this. Or, you know, something we have to consider is that it could have had some rough handling and it could be a component knocked off anywhere. But that's the way it goes. Let's get this inside of the workbench where we can maybe see a little bit better. Alright, well, we've made it inside to the workbench, and now that I've got some better light, starting to notice a lot of things. Of course, we've already seen in this area, if I can get this to focus, yeah, the massacre around the HDMI port. I wonder about the HDMI encoder. I have to take a closer look at that, look at those joints and see if they look factory or not. There's a lot of flux around there, but also been a lot of heat, a lot of carnage in that area. But I've also noticed over here, the south bridge has flux running out from under it. So, yeah. And I'm not sure what else. Let me look around. maybe it's just a, I'm not sure. I wonder if they tried to change that port and then failed, because it's obviously got bent pins inside of it. So I'm going to guess they were not successful. But what was going on here? Was this an attempt to reflow? And also the liquid metal has been slung around quite a bit. I see some over there on the board. I'm not sure where else it may have made its way to. So there's a lot going on here. Well, let's get on into it. All right, let's start off taking a look at this HDMI port under the microscope. Yeah, this poor thing is that's a war crime there, is what that is. That's bad. That is a replacement port, looks like. That Luxshare port. So, was this replaced one time, I wonder, and this was another attempt at it? I don't know. It's just, this board's been through a lot, though. Could be some, well, I see shorts like crazy. You can see, you know, shorted pins here, shorted pins here. I wonder if that, I could check with the meter. I wonder if the 5 volts on pin 18, is it? I wonder if that's shorted to ground. Let's just check that real quick and see if I can get this board set down and get it back in focus. It wants to rock around. I need to set something on it for weight because it needs to rock back the other way. Set right there. All right, now. Wake up, Mr. Multimeter. Continuity mode. So pin 18, it is not grounded. 17 is, and it should be ground. 17 is good. 18, 19. So 3 is grounded and shouldn't be. 4, 5, 4, and 5. You can see 3, 4, and 5 are all connected right there. That's coming through. I'm not sure how well it's in focus. Anyway, that port needs to come off. Let's take a closer look while we're in this area at the encoder IC. Has it been attempted to be replaced? I'm going to say no. Which is what the person who tried to change that port should have said. No. Just say no. I'm going to say that's the original encoder. I see a splash of solder on that filter right there. See if that comes through. Yeah, a bit of a short going on there too, I believe. Anyway. Knocked off components. Of course, we are missing, let's see, a capacitor. Well, of course, that capacitor is long since gone. But this one here is gone. Resistor is here. It looks like it's upside down, possibly, but it's there. What about the other side of the board? Let's check that. Okay. Diode is there. It's been, although it's not attached, it looks like just flux is holding it there. Get that in focus. Yeah, I think flux is the only thing holding that diode there. And this capacitor is barely hanging on. We have burnt flux. We have a burnt board. And what is that? That's just some old flux. Okay. So a lot to take in, and possibly quite a bit to correct. When I get this port off, I need to try to clean that up and, you know, put some solder mask back on some of that. Okay, let's get with it. All right, well, our port has been changed out, and it still looks kind of ugly in that area because it's well, it's got a lot of solder dumped onto the that top layer of copper. Let's do a quick check of this in diode mode. I got a breakout board plugged in. You can see pin 1 looks good. 2 should be ground. 3 is good. 4 is good. 5 is ground. 6, 7, 8, looks good, ground, 9, 10, 11, ground, 12, 13, 14, no connection. Actually, there's a capacitor to ground hooked to it, but anyway, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. All looks good. Okay. I think our port's good. But that bad port is not what was making this thing shut down. So now we got to figure that out. And I want to focus my attention in this area around the south bridge right here. Let me look under the microscope if I could with you. And let's just see what we see right in this area. You see this, here's the south bridge, right over here, with flux oozing out the bottom of it. Well, let me get it in the shot. You can see flux. There's flux, lots of flux up under that thing, which is concerning. But this is also concerning. This is a 25 megahertz clock that is connected to that south bridge, and it has flux all up under it. And I do not believe it will run like that. These crystal oscillators are just really high impedance. They won't take much, capacitive loading at all, and they just won't start. I have a feeling that may be why she won't stay on. Don't know for sure, so what I'm going to probably do is I'll heat this area up, heat the south bridge up, and we'll flush the flux out from under that south bridge and off that crystal and see if that gains us anything. All right, well, I have flushed that area, flushed the flux out from under it and off this crystal. I'll do a quick test here to make sure that we're still initializing like we should be and make sure I haven't made it worse. I got my leads collected properly. Let's turn on the 12 volts. Yep, up to about 300 milliamps, then come back down. All right, that looks healthy. So all I know at this point is I need to clean up some of this liquid metal, get it organized back where it should be on top of the APU, and we'll give it a try out in the garage. Unless I see something else. Now I did have a diode fall off the board somewhere, if you can see that, and I thought it was the one that was back here barely hanging on by the port, but no, it's still there. So I don't know if that's another diode that's been lost off the board, or if somebody had lost one and replaced it, and I don't know. So that may still be an issue right there. There's a rogue diode. All right, well, we have returned to the garage, and I think we're ready to test this. I cleaned up the liquid metal, kind of put it back where it should be. Yeah, we're connected. The fan's connected. LED strip is connected. I still have not replaced that flex cable. It may or may not be damaged. What does she do? We turn on. Do we stay on? Do we stay on? We stay on. Oh. Okay. It wants a controller. Well, we shall try to give it a controller then. Press the button too soon. Wait a second. Stop flashing. All right, now press it. There we go. Okay, so this thing is lost its mind. We're going to let's just see if we do restart. Will it come up? I mean, it acts like it has some corruption on the SSD, but it's been through hell. So, but hey, we have video. That's a plus. Our port is good. Our HDMI encoder is good. Apparently, we don't have any major shorts anywhere. I'm still going to take a look at this Blu-ray drive, though, because there are screws missing out of that thing. I need to look at the inside of it and see if there's anything inside the guts. Okay, we are just doing a storage check. Come on. All right, I think we're going to start. Okay, good deal. So no major problems, despite, you know, all it's been through. Let's see. Let's take a look at this Blu-ray drive, because I'm a little concerned of why they stole the screws out of it. And this ribbon cable, is it still good? Okay. What happened to our lights, though? What happened to our lights? Okay. I know the blue light was flashing. So are the white ones... I wonder if that cable, that ribbon cable, is bad and it can't drive the white ones. Have we seen a white light? I don't remember. All right, she is coming up. Let's take a look at this Blu-ray drive. And I know I have some of these cables. We'll change out this ribbon cable and see if that corrects our lights not coming on. All right, I want to take a quick look at this Blu-ray drive before I stick that, put it all back together out there, because it's just a little bit concerning that we're missing these top screws. I have found some donor screws, so we can correct that. But why did they steal the screws off of it? Again, most likely there's no problem, I'm going to guess. Hopefully the laser's in here and everything. And hopefully this is the board that matches that console out there. And that one's crooked, this screw. I'm guessing this was just somebody's, come to think, let's look at the security tape. Yeah, security tape's broken. Okay. If security tape was still in place, I would just, now we're missing some screws. I'd just take it back out there. Okay. The cable's disconnected. And we're missing the cable over here. This is the cable for the loading motor. So she's not going to load. And this little ribbon is connected. Well, you see this connector right here. That is connected to all the little micro switches. The three micro switches in here. That detects when you put the disc in and when the disc is loaded, or the different states of the drive. So it's not going to work. I'm going to have to pull that ribbon out of a donor. I don't have those laying around. It's just a small, I think it's 3 pins. No, it's got more than 3 pins. Maybe it's got like 6. I don't think they're using all of them. So yeah, I'm wondering if this is a good laser in here now, though. You can see the little micro switches right there. 3 of them. Oh, and the board's not secured down. There should have been 2 screws inside. So yeah, somebody's been robbing parts off of this. This is all moving pretty good. We may find out something else, but once we get it in the machine. All right, let me see if I can steal that cable from somewhere and round up a few more screws. Well, this console keeps on giving. I had hooked a network cable to it just to let it try to update while I was working on the Blu-ray drive in the house. And of course, it wouldn't update because the Blu-ray drive wasn't installed. So I brought the board out here and connected the board because that's all it really needs to complete the update. It needs to see that chip on this board, and it still didn't work. And if I can show you, I'm noticing we don't seem to have, I've got my ground probe here, we don't seem to have +5 or +12 coming in. If I check right here on this board right here, on the main board, nothing. No +5 or +12. So, yeah. I do hope this is the matched drive to this console. We will find out soon enough. But it does look like somebody has, they've blown both fuses. And also the little ribbon cable that plugged into this, you know, that goes to the motors, the spindle motor in the Blu-ray. That cable was flipped backwards, which shouldn't have hurt anything because, you know, basically there's only contacts on one side. If you reverse it, you have no connection because you end up, you know, the ribbon cable contacts will be on against this side and nothing will be touching on the wires there on the contacts. So anyway, all kinds of issues going on. We cannot complete this update until we figure out why we don't have any power to our Blu-ray board. So that's where we are. All right, back inside at the workbench, and if we can get a close-up look at this, they're not blown. Those fuses are missing. Well, there's your problem. Did I mention that this was somebody's parts board? It seems they're a pile of junk parts machines, what it looks like. So they've stolen those fuses. Okay, I will take them off a donor. We'll get them swapped out, and maybe there's no other surprises. All right, fuses have been replaced, and I replaced that ribbon cable, by the way, so that fixed the white light. And we're ready to try this again and see if she will complete the update. Well, we are approaching a critical time here. What's it gonna say? Anything but something went wrong. Don't say that. Something went wrong. So is this the right board or not? I'm saying probably not. Because I did check. We are getting +5 and +12. It's doing it. Success. I swapped out the ribbon cable. That's all I did was I swapped out this ribbon. And it's working. That is the correct board. Hallelujah. All right. It's going to finish. It's going to restart. That's great. So this is the right board matched to this motherboard. I need to scrounge together some parts to build a complete Blu-ray drive. I need that little ribbon that was inside, you know, the one that hooks to this. I need to steal that and some screws, and we may just have a working machine. Excellent. All right, let me get to that. Let me get to scrounging through my parts bins, see what I can find. Well, I've been able to gather together enough pieces to make us a working Blu-ray drive, I think. But I think we have another issue, if I can demonstrate for you. This console is acting rather weird and is acting sluggish. We'll let it start on up here, but maybe it'll demonstrate itself well in a moment. Maybe kind of doing it now. It takes forever to start up. I mean, and will hesitate. And the little animation screen will freeze. And you can just see it hesitate and stuttering. And it's pretty consistent with it. Really, it's just struggling. And it'll just be unresponsive for a time. Really struggling. And I'm not sure what this is, unless it acts like the way a PS4 would act whenever the hard drive is dying. That's how it behaves. That hesitation, freezing, eventually doing it, but taking a long time to get there. So I'm wondering if we're going to have an SSD issue on top of all the other problems this console has had. I'm going to try playing some games and see what that does.
I reach the end of the trail. The air is still, and I am a hunter. The hunt has led me to the forgotten edges of this world.
All right, we're back inside. Trying to figure out what to do about this PS5 main board. It acts like it has an SSD problem. So I brought it back in, preparing to change out the SSD controller. But I decided to give the board a quick look over in the area, and I want to show you under the microscope what has turned up here. If I could. Yeah, we've got two missing components. And these are resistors. I've looked at another EDM20 board, and those are resistors that are missing. And this is the SSD controller chip that are on the other side of the board from here, directly underneath all these capacitors. And also a missing capacitor there. That's probably not causing too much of a problem, but I will replace it from a donor while I'm in here. That's all I've seen right now, but that's probably more than enough to give us the symptoms that we're having. All that stuttering and hesitation. I'm not sure what the values are. I'm just going to take them straight off of a donor and transfer them over. And let's see, I bet that improves things drastically. Well, our two missing resistors and our missing capacitor have been installed. Have we done any good whatsoever? I'm really hopeful that this is going to fix that slow access problem where it was really struggling to be able to load data and move things around. We'll know pretty soon when it goes to load the little animation. We'll be able to tell then, I think, if it's smooth or not. Nah, I'm still seeing some hesitation there. Thought I did anyway. Nope, she's still hesitating. Still hesitating. Do we still have a bad SSD controller? Let's see. Is that what it's going to be? Do we have more components knocked off the board somewhere? Always a possibility. This little opening video was not playing well earlier. I bet it's still not. Audio's distorted. Same as it was earlier. Still a problem. Alright, we are back inside. We are still on the hunt for why this console will not work properly. And I'm back looking under the microscope. So take a look with me. And you can see, here's the resistors I replaced earlier. This is the ones that are missing. This is 120 ohm. This is a 4.7 k ohm. And then there was a capacitor down here, that I replaced. If we go a little further to the right, though, we have yet another resistor that is knocked off the board. And I've already checked on the board. That is a 4.7 k resistor also. So is that the reason it's not working right? I don't know. Also notice there's several scratches. Some damaged traces in this area. I don't think any of them are all the way through, but something to keep an eye on. But I've already checked. These traces here go down to the where expansion M2 would be, so I don't think that's the problem right now. And on the other side of the board, there is a missing capacitor right up here. But you can see there's 3 others in parallel with it right there. This is right next to, what is that fuse number? Is it marked? Let me just look and see. Oh, F7501, near that. One of those has been knocked off. I don't think it's removed. It looks like it was knocked off. So, not too worried about that. But that resistor, that is interesting. Let me see if I can get that swapped out. All right, here we are again. I installed that missing 4.7K resistor and that missing capacitor. Not sure what size that was, but I replaced it. I don't think the capacitor was an issue, but the resistor we can be hopeful about. I'm hooked up. Power. She still turns on. What does she do on the screen? Okay, that looks good. Yeah, that looks like it's moving quicker, doesn't it? And the animation did not stutter. And let me hit the button on the remote. Are we going to... Yes. Now that's how it should work. So that was a very important resistor, apparently. Let me see if I can load a disc in here. I wonder if I can turn down that music. Not sure if it's copyrighted or not. I can't get my remote to work. Probably is. Play game. I want to see that opening animation run and run smoothly. That looks smooth. So far, everything is smooth. I remember it used to really throw up on this. That looks good. We're smooth. Excellent. I think we made a difference. That resistor is very important. Whatever it does is very important. Okay then. All right. I think we need to clean this one up a little bit, put it back together, and we'll test it out fully. But it looks pretty good. We still running smooth? Yes. Yes. Very smooth.
I reached the end of the trail.
Well, this PS5 is fully reassembled now and is running smooth. Yeah, that one took a little while. I had a lot of missing parts, you know, missing cables, bad cables, you know, lots of stuff going on with this PS5. But she's back to full health. Looks like this animation is running nice and smooth. So I think she's going to be all right. Well, I hope you thought that was somewhat interesting, educational, entertaining, or any of the above. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, and I will see you in the very next repair. So long for now.